Welcome, Matt. Good to see you. And of course, Kijos, welcome as well. Dylan, good to see you as well. Let's wait a few minutes for people to join. Zlatan, good to see you. I feel that I'll have slight PTSD from Tao. That's my thought as well, Kijos. Like what I hope it does, but then it has to drop right here. Should not push above, otherwise this becomes the plan. But like cleanest would have been if we made that tree drive into the value area low, this local demand, and the VIP levels. Then break, then boom. But it seems like we are, let's see. Yeah, that it already is trying to break this internal structure back to bullish. If that happens, then, so if we break above this level, then this is likely already the higher low. And then we have to see if we can maybe try this. But yeah, depends. So let me put an alert at the high and the low. And hopefully it wants to give us an entry. But it's so clean to see that, like if you just ignore price action, then this is just, again, almost a replica of the former range, which we had here. So just know where to draw your ranges, and then it's the same over and over again. Welcome, Abby. Good to see you. Such a heartbreaker this week. Yeah, but it can make everything right. If it gives us an entry into the weekend, then everything is forgotten. Welcome, Arnold. Good to see you as well. Okay, let's start with Bitcoin. Ooh, Bitcoin is okay. So yesterday earlier this week we had that strong push above. In this, literally this last move into the highs, a lot of longs started adding. So people have been shorting the whole move, shorting, getting stopped, shorting, getting stopped. And then exactly when people thought, okay, this is the breakout, they start breakout longing, and that is where they got wrecked. Then we knew that a lot of liquidity was resting in these levels, because everyone that started opening longs here probably put their stop in this level or the liquidation level. So this was where a lot of liquidity was resting, which we also expected to take. And then yesterday we took it. We failed to break back directly. That was the most bullish scenario. And right now we broke basically this structure back to bearish. So we are in yeah, kind of neutral right here, where we broke 1 hour and 2 hour structures back to bearish, but 4 hour, basically anything above 2 hour is still bullish. So this is our 4 hour swing low. So according to the 4 hour and everything above, basically, welcome Lisa, by the way, we can do high, higher low, higher high. So I see already a lot of people calling for the top to be in, and look, it could be, can happen, but only reason for that to call that is a 2-hour break of structure. That's, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it are the same people that have been shorting the whole move. So even though this could be the deviation already, I don't think it makes sense to call for that already. Break 4-hour structure, and then this looks much more likely to be the high already. But other than that, we only have a 1-hour, 2-hour break. We did not sweep the initial high. If you do that, then you have like a much better high in the making. Right now, you just had a lot of some longs getting aggressive. They got stopped out. So I can still see this being higher low for a higher high. If you then sweep your high and show weakness, then I'm much more interested in shorts. For now, price is basically between, yeah, this is the level bulls want to defend. This is the level bears want to defend. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the weekend coming up. And we know that especially Saturday is like on Bitcoin last weeks and months, it does nothing. So I will not be surprised if we see Bitcoin chop around this level, maybe the whole weekend. Purpose of that is that people are impatient. You have a lot of bulls that think this will send higher, but if I read my timeline, I still think more people are bearish. So that means bulls are putting they are getting long, putting their stop losses here. And the bears, they want to be short, they put their stop losses here. What is the perfect environment for the market makers? To let price rotate, increase the liquidity on both sides, and it's perfectly for ranges. They take the high, take the low, and then from there we can see what happens. So I see this just as super clean sideways price action, where likely the big players want to create liquidity to grab later on. If we look at what happened, and we had this super clean range, the same range as we have been drawing past week and every week, and it worked out perfectly, where we had low to high, then we swept the low, but did not break below it. So this was within the deviation threshold. So a valid tap. First I saw it like a tap 2. It's also the most valid way. Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. More locally, you can also see it like 1, 2, 3. And this was the model 1 in a model 2, which we have seen play out over and over again last few weeks. And it again played out. So if we look at it from that perspective, we have 1, range low, range high. We take the low, tap 2, bounce, new low, tap 3, form the higher low, tap 4, break internal structure back to bullish right here. Basically, that is your long entry. Stop loss below the low, target your range high. So 1 minute. Yeah. But this was valid long, model 1 into model 2. I did not trade it. I was pretty busy and not too sharp behind the screen today. But this was like a fully valid trade, which we have been taking. It's basically the same as the Tao trade we got front run on, and the Bitcoin trade earlier. Target always the opposite side of your range high. And look what price did. Took out a range high, broke local structure back to bearish, and now we are simply in the same range. Super clean model. This is the, and if you zoom out, this looks like locally, it's our absorption low. If you zoom out, will see that it is truly absorption, because you have high time frame wicks, which shows that the big player is absorbing price here. So the model 1 into model 2, maybe we can rename it to the absorption setup, because last week it has been insane. For now, I don't have a really clean bias right here. we completed the local accumulation by taking out the high, and now we have tab 1, tab 2 here. So I can see it potentially also go over in a deviation, in a distribution, maybe here model 2 or a model 1 tapping into that key supply. If you then break structure, I will just play the local rotations. But as said, I think we are just rotating here. And this is a super clean example of a range in the making, where you get local ranges, which can be the start of a new range. So for BTC, I'm gonna delete it, delete, and then just see this as a local range. And now you can often, a local range can flow over in the mid-time frame range, which can flow over into the high time frame range. So now you could also see it like low to high. And that is our new range with the one at the low, the one at the high. And then you can watch it from here again. What do we do? Do we take the highs, look for distributions, or do we take the lows and look for accumulations? Just the same, but then in a bigger scale. This is what happens continually. And that's why the ranges are so amazing. Because here you think, oh, this is just chop. But if you zoom in, you will see that the chop was just a model we always play. Same as here. If I zoom in on the 1 minute, this is a local accumulation. Tab 1, 1, 2, basically a local model 1, not very tradable, but it shows you that someone is absorbing it locally. Basically every rounded bottom is an accumulation and every rounded top is a distribution. So yeah, locally it looks can potentially push higher. So let me quickly look at the order flow and let me set some alerts. Okay, I already have alerts. I think for Bitcoin now this is the new range. Range low, range high, look for distributions by taking out the high for shorts, take out the lows into that demand for longs. Let's see what the order flow is doing, because we also had NFP. It was NFP, I believe. What happened there? Abby long that move. Nice. It was a good trade. Welcome, Sudo. Welcome, Rise, baby. Absorption is for another afternoon's coffee nut. That's a good one. That's a good one. So this was our accumulation. Then price pushed up, and here we had quite some longs getting into the market, it seems. Let's see. Yeah, so quite some longs. And then we had that wick higher, and then a sell-off. Price perfectly retested the daily point of control and is now bouncing. Yeah, locally it looks pretty strong, but here we had a lot of sellers step in. So this is a sell wick. So we can watch what does price do at that level. That wick is basically wick supply. So you can say this is your supply. You can watch what happens there for a reaction. But overall, yeah, what I just said, same playbook, just a new range in the middle of the key levels. And that's often where you form a range, because this is key demand, key market structure low, and this is key supply. Flip above this supply, and I wouldn't be surprised if we squeeze pretty hard. So let's see what happens within these levels. I have to quickly look at Tau. Okay, it's not too bad yet. Then USDT, which basically formed the exact opposite of Bitcoin, but then yeah, in the other form. So you have range high, range low. Then we took the high, came back. Here the model 1 was a bit cleaner, because you had like structure high, back, high, back, breaking local structure. Then you can expect a model 2, 4 tap, break, confirmed the model 1 into model 2, technical target opposite side of the range, price took liquidity into demand and bounced. And right now it's rejecting again. So this looks pretty, still pretty toppish to me. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the lower high and we continue lower. So I already saw people calling that the Model 1 was confirmed. In my opinion, that makes no sense to say that the Model 1 accumulation is confirmed. Because we are in a higher time frame model and we did have a 1 hour break, but a 1 hour bullish break in a model that takes 52 days, that's not enough. So then you want to see what is my clear structure. And the clear structure that I see is the one right here, which is this low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Break that, and then the model is confirmed, and then your technical target is the range high. But for now, that's way too early to say. So I still stand behind my idea that if this is going to flow over into Model 1, that we are in the early process of forming a new range, which might be confirmed now, where we have range low, range high. If price now comes back down into this demand, then we have tap 1 at the low, tap 1 at the high, validation of the range by tapping mid-range. Then from there, if we go down, start taking the low, that is when I'm gonna be super alert for accumulations here. Confirm the local accumulation here, and very high chances that is the third tap, and that you then get a potentially full reversal back to the highs. Until then, I think this is just way too short in time frame to confirm a reversal. So that is also just playing out as expected. Let's see an alert here if we confirm the new range. And yeah, most important level here is the 4-hour mark structure. So let's see what happens. Here locally, this looks pretty good, like a top to me. BTC showing strength. Ooh, okay. I have to be a bit sharper now. We have this 1, 2, 3. Technically, model 2 already confirmed, but we have some demand below, so it can still sweep that low. But if this is already our model 2, then we just took extreme liquidity again. And then this can basically just be the high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So let's see. In that case, this is basically your fourth tap. Here we have, and this is also a good hour to put in a strong, strong low. So alert there. If we backtest this, then I'm gonna long. For Tao, we have 1, 2, 3, model 1. It was a bit unfortunate that we in this leg did not have structure right here, for example, because then you confirm your model 1. Now, in order to confirm your model 1, you want to break structure back to bullish, but here you don't really have any structure, unfortunately. We only have structure from the low up, which is being respected. So I'm looking for this basically to long it to new highs. But just before the stream, I was looking, I saw 1, 2, and here we had demand. So I was like, oh, if this can from here, tap 2, tap 3 break, then I would have massively longed it here. But we already are taking off, in which the plan changes a bit, because now we have local structure from the high, low, lower high, lower low, break. So internal will break back to bullish, which means that a higher low for a higher high is now more likely. So then the question is, do you leave behind something? Let's see. Here we have pretty clean demand on the 45, protecting the point of control. So that's the next level I'm looking at. Hopefully that we not gonna front run again, because then the trauma only gets harder. So there, basically, like this is now the deeper demand, but this is also demand. So let's see. God damn. I swear the Tao market makers are watching us. The front running is crazy this week. Okay, it seems like we are already taking off, but if in some case we get back here, then I'm looking for longs, basically playing this high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then hopefully this is an internal higher low to get into longs. The only reason or the only hope I have is that we are at the value area high. So hopefully we can get a back test here before higher. Otherwise, Tao wants to divorce us. Same models over and over and over again. Yeah, literally the same models over and over again. When they appear in your dreams, then you're on the right track. Yeah, that's true. If you dream about them, then it's a sign that it's in your subconscious, and then it's good. Let's hope it comes back. Yeah, Tao left my heart broken as well. Let's see. Locally, maybe we can hop on the train. Like local structure is basically high, higher low, higher high. So to keep your local structure intact, you want to form a high low, higher high. So also here you can watch, do you have demand close to your max structure low? That's always the best level to look at. That's here. This cell there. So putting the alert there, maybe we can then scalp it up, which will be high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If you get this, for example, then you can long it, stop low below here. And then once you get higher, you can move your stops. That will be the best. So let's see. We now took out this high. So that's always, they can also watch it from range high, range low, mid-range, tap 2, potential tap 2 here. But context-wise, I'm not interested in shorts here because we are in a confirmed accumulation. So then you want to look for longs and don't play these shorts. Hype is also taking off. Please come back for us. BTC took out. Look. I just showed you guys that sell wick. Price now tested that wick and is now seeing slight pullback. So let's see what happens. If price goes above that high, then I think it can squeeze quite hard. So here we have this local demand on BTC. Okay. Then what is ETH doing? ETH tapped into the extreme demand right here. But I don't like the ETH chart too much. It could develop into something. But yeah, the other charts like Hype, super clean, Tau, super clean. ETH, not super clean. It could still potentially be the 1, 2, tree in the making, but it needs more development. So I just have some alerts here at the extreme liquidity and here in the extreme, in the new demand for potential model 1, in which you then have 1, 2. This would maybe be my favorite scenario. We get a 3 drive and then push it higher. But yeah, I like the hype chart a lot more. Okay, that's clear, that's clear, that's clear as well. Then what do we have on gold? We still had that 4-hour low, lower high wick break. So 4-hour can still mostly interested in a higher low for a higher high, but that higher low that can come all the way back down to this demand, filling these imbalances. That is if you get a good retrace. It doesn't have to happen because price can also just grind higher overall, then form a higher low and then go higher. So it depends a bit what happens. But more locally, we showed weakness yesterday with like 1, 2, kind of a 3 drive, and then broke local structure back to bearish right here. So you had high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Basically 1, 2, 3 little extended ones, so not super clean, and then a break. And then we are overall in an uptrend. So you pull your range from high to low, and this is the range I've been watching. Basically with range high, range low, and this is just internal noise. We can watch. I've not watched if it gave any models, that local one, because this was the local range with range high, range low, sweep, sweep. Then technically, locally, it gave only a 2 tap at the high, so that's not really tradable. But here you had 1, 2. This one took extreme liquidity and then pushed up. No structure in the move, but basically a unconfirmed model 2. Okay, interesting rotations going on. But yeah, this is why internal ranges are often more dangerous to trade, and it's better to just focus on your clear ranges, which in this case is high, low. And now my main interest is take the high for distributions, take the low for accumulations. And if we do not accumulate here, then from here it can drop pretty quickly, because this is nothing. It's only liquidity, basically gaps. So alert at the high, alert at the low, and just watch, do you get deviations, distributions, or accumulations? Basically that. This was the former high, so you can have a level there. Yeah. Locally, yeah, this is just the range. I don't have much else to say. I would love to get a short here. If we tap that high, break structure, then this is like a 2-tap model, which can potentially flow over in model 2. But I would like to get a short here, which can be a potential hedge to write the short down. If you break down here, very likely you get back into this demand. And from there you can close your short and flip into longs again. That would be the dream scenario. But yeah, let's see what happens. It's just a range, so we know how to play it. The same as every range. It's hype coming back for demand and is Tao Tau is also coming back a bit. Value area high is rejecting it. So let's see how it develops. Well, our max is very some gold. Indeed, indeed. Low time frame 3 drive in 1 hour supply. Yeah, some sort. Hype is coming for demand. Indeed. Let's see. What? We don't have super clean demand here. So basically what I want to see here is move, then a break, and then look for longs. But I'm not too aggressive here because the range overall it's not a super high probability range. So let's see how it develops. Because we don't have a super clean return to zone or anything. And also this step 1 to 2 can be a bit too stretched. So let's see how it behaves. Tao I like a lot more, but I hope it gives that entry. And we see locally some wild price action. The overall, yeah, it's just. Let's see what is in the chat. Nil USDT coin request. I can have a really quick look, but I don't trade anything besides my watch list. So I will look at it in a minute. But DD Binance wicked into Tau demand on a low time frame. Sharp Kijos. Very sharp. Let's pick the USDT pair with it. Look, what I like about it is that we had that basically the yeah, depends how you draw it. You could have drawn it from here as well. Then this is just deviation, but it comes down to the same. But that we here basically had high, high, low, high, low, break, making this basically your demand range. Range, initiate, mitigate, continue. And here you can see that direct perfect reaction from that mitigation. So price came back for the mitigation and then continued, which is looking pretty clean. Then we have high right there, liquidity, as well as basically here, here, and here. So it's all liquidity to grab. And then locally, price here, yeah. The thing is, yeah, if I long, I need to get I'm not gonna use this top. So you need to use this latest low as your manipulation low, because that is where liquidity got taken from this mitigation. Then internally you broke structure. So this is your clean invalidation. So if you're gonna enter here, your target is basically the range high, which will bring you at a 1.36 R. It's not worth it. So I need price to come back down to here. Only then it becomes worth it again. So yeah, have to remain patient. And we should not chase it. That's the worst thing you can always do. It's because you missed an entry here or here that you start chasing it because of emotions. And you think, oh shit, I'm missing out, I'm gonna get in. And then all of a sudden you are in a trade like this, and then you watch back and think, why did I enter? At the value area high, at the local highs. So that's where that is not the place you wanted to enter. Hype pushing up a bit. Bitcoin continues to look pretty strong. Man, if we're gonna get a front run here again, then the front run week closes in style. God damn. Literally my alert is here, 42.5. And we go to 42.52. And we are taking off. What you can then do is we still have the same low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we seem to break this. It seems like we front ran this demand. So then you can watch what is your internal structure, which is basically low, high, higher low, higher high, potential higher low, higher high. So maybe we have to chase it a little higher here. But then you just continue the local trend. So alert there. What are they doing with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is dropping quite a lot. Likely a lot of people that have been positioning themselves ahead of NFP, shorting here, thinking, oh, look, I'm a genius. Put my stop loss to break even. They have been taken out right now. Overall, just ranging price behavior. But if it flips above the daily high, then I can see Bitcoin squeeze quite hard. I need some creatures. Yeah, overall, just zooming out, BTC, in my opinion, high likelihood we range here, maybe the whole weekend. So I'm not really interested in trading Bitcoin. But alts can take off while Bitcoin chills, especially in the weekend. If Bitcoin chills, alts often can get some room to run. So the cleanest one I have an eye on is Hype here. But fucking front runs the band PY with literally a few cents again. And Tao is also not letting us in yet. So yeah, just gonna wait. And otherwise, front run week continues. It's better to have front runs or have a good idea in a front run than take bad trades and have losses. So let's see, gold is inside a potential high time frame range from, let's see. I have indeed a high time frame range. Let's see if it's the same as yours. This is my range. High, low, tap 2. So you said 4980. Nine that high, 4500. Um, well, I see it as a high, like a high time frame range from that high to this low, but internally, yeah, I see what you. This is probably your range. Let's see if I have a different here. So your range is probably this one, right? Um, do I like that range? Not really, really, because we broke structure to bearish, so then you cannot really pull your range from high to low. But no, it's in my opinion not. It's not the range I would look at, because we like, what is this for chart? Is this better? No, definitely not better. Yeah, this is better. Like here we had clean exhaustion, so here with high, then here we basically had a 1, 2, 3, so model 1 distribution, and then we broke structure back to bearish. So then you cannot pull your range from high to low because you are locally in a downtrend. So how I would draw it is, if we come back down here, then I pull my range from low to high. And then this is the range I would be looking at. Because if I draw it now from high to low, then you draw it in a downtrend. And in a downtrend, you pull your range from low to high. In an uptrend, from high to low. And now you are locally from this high to here, you're going down. So then you cannot pull your range from high to low. And you should pull your range from low to high. And then tap 1, tap 1. The moment you hit your mid-range, that's when you can look at it from a range perspective. I hope that's clear. Impossible to catch them all. Yeah, that's also definitely true. And we are now whining about not hitting multiple trades every day, but we are already catching an insane amount of trades. So there's not too much to worry about. On hype, we have the VWAP from the high coming in. Maybe a reason to come down a bit there. Wishful thinking. Yeah, it's always good to find reasons why it should go down or go up. Thing is that if you take out this high, then basically all this liquidity is already taken, which makes it much less attractive to take long anymore. Because this was super nice liquidity, but this is more like aggressive selling. So here's not really clean liquidity anymore. which is also more or less same for Tao, where we also took out already a lot of liquidity. Like for Tao, everything was perfect except that we did not have structure here. If this was low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then broke it here, then we had like a confirmed model 1, and then I would have, or we could have gone in anywhere here, stop loss below that low, and then target the opposite side. Then this would basically be the trade. But right now, there was no structure confirmation till we broke above here, which we eventually did. But here also your stop has to go there, and then to the target is 1.3, so that's not worth it. So just unfortunate that we did not have structure in this move. But yeah, more important to follow the rules than to chase it. Yeah. Oh, okay, I will do one coin request quickly. And if people have questions, ask them now, because otherwise I'm gonna end the stream, set my alerts, enjoy the early weekend, and hopefully maybe get a trade. But we have to forget, don't forget that the best of the trade is already gone. So I'm not gonna enter up here. I want basically it to go down there, maybe even give that local return to zone again and then enter. But it's too clean to pass on. Then I will still take it. Otherwise, yeah, we took already. I want to see this high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, but with local triggers. We are already also close to the mid-range. Let's see. Yeah, we are at the mid-range. So that's usually not the best place you want to enter. And same is for hype. Like hype also needs to be super clear. I'm gonna ignore this demand. It's too high up. What I want to see is mitigation of this demand, flip that structure. Then I'm interested in longs, but we don't have any good return to zone. So then it's a low probability model. Not really interested in trading that. And the higher time frame idea is still to look for short. So if we miss the long, it's also no problem, because main idea is to come from here, potentially get into a long, then come into there. If we then break structure, then I'm massively interested in shorts, playing the high time frame distribution. 1, 2, this potentially be the 3, in combination with this 1, 2, 3. So that's the plan for them. Tao, hype, Bitcoin, mainly expecting just ranging price action. Only if we get above here, then expand higher, or lose 4-hour and lower high for lower low. Otherwise, just ranging price action. Now, quickly looking at, what was it? Nil. Yeah, this is nothing. This is a scam. Do not trade this. This is I can directly see that in a few seconds. This is a scam. Don't chase along here. Then you get wrecked. So, are there any questions left? It's crazy that it's already Friday again. It's like every week it flies by. Every time it's already Friday. But that's a good sign. If the week, if it doesn't come to an end, obviously that's not what you want. Right now, yeah, it flies by. So that's also part of you guys, or mainly because of you. Much more fun to do this with the community than sit alone in front of your screen the whole day. What I love about your trading style, DD and Wyckoff, is we can trade our favorite tokens like Tau and Hype week in and week out. How amazing. Some weeks we won't be so great and some weeks, yeah, indeed. I love to, and it's every time the same. And I feel like like with the coins that we focus on just a few, that we just focus on a few coins, that also gives like Tao is now already throwing in every time the same kind of bottom, but not the cleanest, but look here, what it does here is almost a replica of what does here, with the 1, 2, 3, here we also 1, 2, and a pretty violent third, and then up and then aggressive move. And that are just the little differences between a Tao and a Bitcoin and a Hype, because every coin moves more or less the same, but they also have their own characteristics. And by just watching week in and week out the same pairs, I think unconsciously you recognize which coin it is and what you want to see. And if you watch 100 of coins, then yeah, then the model might not play out, and then you're gonna blame the model or do not trust the model anymore. Well, it could not be the problem of the model, but maybe because of the coin you are watching, because it's highly controlled by a few wheels, for example. Okay, well, I'm just gonna put some alerts, and then I think I'm calling it a week. It's been a good week again. Community is growing pretty nicely. Activity probably at all-time highs, which I love to see. And yeah, just the beginning. A lot more is coming, and I love the community. So I want to thank everyone for this week again. And as always, during the weekend, a little less active. We'll still keep an eye on the charts as always, but next Monday we go again. So thanks everyone for this week again, and I'll speak to you guys in the Discord, and again Monday during the streams. So enjoy the weekend, everyone, and we stay in touch.